Hello and welcome to Dreams of Wings, and welcome here to Alice Springs in Australia, where we're going to be exploring the latest update. I haven't done a great deal of flying in Australia, so this seems a very good opportunity to give it a go. And we're going to be doing it in the one and only Milviz FG-1D Corsair, which is a beautiful warbird in this simulator. I am an absolute rookie at it, really. I've done quite a few short flights. Messed about in it a bit, haven't got too many hours. What I like about it is it is quite a challenge, and it's certainly a challenge to land, which we will no doubt see later. What we're going to be doing is doing a flight out of Alice Springs, going in and looking at some of the scenery in the West MacDonnell National Park, and heading over to Mereenie Airport. So let's get cracking. Right, here we are inside the beast, and I think Milviz did an absolutely cracking job on this cockpit. It's got a really nice used warbird feel about it, and it's nice in VR as well. It's very atmospheric, very immersive. Yeah, cannot fault Milviz at all on this. I love it. Right, first of all, I am going to just pump up some hydraulic pressure, just so that we can, we're looking over here, just so that we can drop the wangs. We're looking over here. Once that little panel drops down into the flush with the wing, we know that everything's where it should be. There he goes. And then we put the lock on because, ladies and gentlemen, flappy wangs in the air is not a good idea. Not a good idea at all. Right, quick look around. Ignition switch is off. Mixture is idle, cut off. We'll make sure we've not got any hydraulic locks potentially going to happen by running the propeller through a few times. That just clears the cylinders nicely. We'll give it another one just for good luck, eh? And when we've done that, there we go. When we've done that, we will stick the fuel into reserve. We're going to open the cowl flaps. How much hydraulic pressure we got left after that? Not a huge amount, so we'll whack it forward, technical term, and we'll give it some more of that. Right. Supercharger is set to neutral. Mixture control is idle cutoff. Throttle, we're just going to crack a wee bit. Battery switch on. And fuel pump on. And then we're going to prime for, we'll prime for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Mags on to both. There we go. And that's all tickety-boo. Have a quick look around. New one is around. Now my left hand is now on the mixture lever because I'm going to have to move that forward once it fires up. There we go. Let's go for a start. That awkward pause at the beginning there. Is it or isn't it? There we go. Mixture coming forward. Gently. There we go. That's going nicely. Right. How's all our T's and P's? Oils, pressure's good. Everything's nice there. Okay, let's get the generator on. Let's close down our guards. Let's turn off that noisy fuel pump. Should have put some lights on before. Gee, let's face it, anyone creeping around a Corsair at this time of the morning that can't hear that fuel pump as a warning is asking for trouble. Let's just get a few other things on. Doopy-doo, everything's good. Okay. Okay, that's looking good. I like. It's advancing the prop lever fully forward there, which is where it should have been to start off with, really. There we go. Okay, how are we doing on our temperatures? Pretty good. Okay, I think we can do some taxiing now. So let's have a quick look over here at the map. We've really got hardly any wind at all, but we do need to turn around and kind of backtrack so that we're taking off on 30. Right, let's just move this to get rid of the chocks. Okay, now first things first, I think we've got Matey Boy behind, good old AI pilot. Is he still there? He's still there. And he's going to really get in our way here, so let's get moving. Okay, I thought I'd release the brake there, but obviously not. Let's, so it doesn't all jump forward. Do that again. Let's try now. There we go. I love the feel of this aircraft. It really does have a nice heavy sound and feel to it. Do not move, Mr. Twin Baron. You're already in the way enough as it is. You see, he's just so in awe of the might of the Corsair that he can't move. Right, here we go. Yeah, it's still got that kind of, or it can have that kind of funny 2020 ground handling thing going on, but it's not too bad. And once you learn how to operate it with that kind of thing, just very small movements on the rudder pedals, it's actually quite a joy. Stunning aeroplane. I have to say this is probably certainly in my top 3 2020 aeroplanes. And for me, what I love about it is I didn't have one in P3D, so there's none of that kind of you know, comparing it to anything in P3D. Right, we'll do a run down the runway so that we can backtrack. Nothing around. Isn't that beautiful? Just come over to the left actually ever so slightly. I don't have AI on, but I always like to keep an eye out, because just in case I've accidentally left it in multiplayer mode or anything like that. What I tend to often do is stick it onto West Europe or Western Europe and go flying out of Duxford or around there just to see what's going on, and sometimes I leave it on and then all of a sudden I've got I'm pulling onto a runway somewhere and some poor person is trying to land and I'm being very unprofessional and jumping on there. Right, while we're doing that, let's get the trim set up. So we want 6 right on the aileron. I sometimes find this a bit tricky to Yeah, let's keep an eye outside, sunshine. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. There we go. And then we want 6 right on the rudder, which is always a bit quicker. My control, there we go. And then I think it's 1, is it 1 up? Yeah, 1 up on the old schnoz. Bring her over a bit. Okay. Let's a quick look outside, see how we're looking. We can close the cowl flaps a tiny bit. I think we're looking for about 2/3. Actually, why don't we do that when we've stopped instead of trying to do it while I'm seeing where I'm going as well. Trying to rush too many things here. Spin around. There we go. Oh, there's a little bit of the old crazy ground handling coming in there for a moment. Right. Okay. Let's now gently stop. There we go. Right. Want to close those a little bit, don't we? And not too much, not too much. Quick, quick, quick. Oh, I missed it. Just a wee bit more. As a reminder, I need to set a switch to that ready so I can look out and look at the front and also see what they're doing. Okay, so we've got our fuel tank on reserve, which is where we want it. Everything else is fine. We're going to lock the tail wheel now. We've done our trim to where we want it. Everything else is cool. I'm going to close the canopy at this point. Everything else is fine. Okay, let us roll. So we're looking for a maximum of 54 inches on the manifold pressure. Just keep the nose down to build up some speed with the gear going up now. Come back on the throttle. It's about 44. We can bring the RPM back now. We're airborne. Super duper. Speed coming up nicely. I have to say, one of the fascinating things about flying in Australia, not having done a great deal of it, is just the colour of the ground is incredible. It is a whole new environment. There's our T's and P's looking. Okay, we can close our those now. Just look at the reds, absolutely incredible. Right, let's take our trim out now, so that we're not constantly fighting that. amazing geology here. You can quite clearly see the lines where the crust has faulted and folded. Now that down there is one of the POIs that's been added with the Australia update. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, so I shall put the text in here if I can remember, but that's a military facility. We are a military aircraft, so I don't think anyone will worry too much about us being here. That looks like there's quite a lot of detail gone into that. Isn't that beautiful? You know, I know there's still a lot of debate about 2020 and you know, how it's not as realistic as X-Plane and P3D and that sort of thing, but my God, it is beautiful at times. It just amazes you. Stunning. Right, so let's just have a look at the old map. And let's lose a bit of height and see what this looks like a bit closer up. Keep an eye on the speed. Such detail. Quite amazing. No, I've never been to Australia, but what an incredible place it is. Oh, there we've got one of those funny divide lines between being maps, I suppose. Different photography. Right, let's see if we can trim her out a bit steadier. So this is the MacDonnell National Park, or rather the West MacDonnell National Park, I should say. Must be absolutely stunning on the ground. And we are going to go and look for a crater. Gosses Bluff is the name of it, and it's quite a whopper. I think one of the things I love about this sim is that because it's the real world, as it were, there is always something to look at. It's not like you're looking at repeated texture tiles or anything like that. It's God, I was going to say it's like looking at the real thing, which it kind of is in a funny sort of way, if you understand what I mean. That down there that I'm looking at, that what looks like a dried riverbed, is there in real life. That's not some generic texture that's just been planted there to try and give the ground more feature. And I just think that's pretty amazing. And luckily now in this sim we have good aircraft that we can use to explore it. Of course, I'm going to say it, and I say it every single time, and you're probably very bored with it by now if you've watched any other videos, but when this sim will really come alive for me will be when A2A hit it and we get those really accurate aircraft. Not really interested in airliners and kind of high altitude airline operations. Don't do VII at the moment, although that will be coming. I don't worry too much about high altitude weather and all that kind of stuff. This is the kind of flying I like to do, and so I like good scenery and I like a good aircraft, and this Milviz Corsair is fantastic for doing this sort of thing, without a doubt. And when A2A bring their warbirds and their GA out, then this is just going to go ahead and leaps and bounds, I think. Because I think I'm doing what a lot of people are probably doing at the moment who've flown P3D, is to actually use both sims. I use P3D to do some serious, more accurate flying, and then I use Flight Sim to do sightseeing and just kind of get more immersed in the landscape and the scenery. And there's no reason why you can't do both, in my opinion. There's no reason why you can't enjoy this sim for what it is and have some fun in it. And just choose your aircraft wisely. I think if I only flew defaults, probably wouldn't be that interested too much. But once you get some good add-on aircraft, you can have some fun. And certainly more realistic than the default. Okay, how are we looking? Interesting. Oh, let's come off the reserve now. We could have a nasty shot. I just noticed my cylinder temperature has dropped right down. Interesting. That's probably better than being up. Don't remember seeing it that low before. How's everything else? Okay, how are we doing there? Go find our crater. Now I don't think the crater has actually been modelled as a point of interest in the sim, so it will be whatever it is, but it'll be interesting to see it. There's a cracking illustration of these fold and fault lines. You can see how the crust has been pushed together like that. Blimey, this is turning into a geography geek out, isn't it? I am fascinated by landscape though. I think it's quite incredible when you see something like that and then you think of the forces that have been involved in creating this landscape. Well, there is our crater in the distance. Pictures while we're here. That's quite interesting. I mean, even from here it looks like there's a fair bit of detail in that crater. I'm loving the colour of the ground. There's just something about the contrast between the red ground and the wing of the Corsair that just looks absolutely fantastic. Right, here we go. Let's have a look. So, anybody who has visited the crater or who's flown over it in real life, I'd be really interested to see what you think. Considering that's not a fully modelled point of interest, that's just, I guess, just taking it from big maps. How does it compare? Gosses Bluff. Can you imagine being here when it hit? Okay, so we're going to do our final run now to our destination. And we'll take it down a bit low and have some fun. So I selected Marini Airport, never flown there, no idea what it's going to be like, but it wasn't too far from here, so I thought it gives us a reasonably close destination that we can go to. have a look, see what this bush looks like closer up. Hello, holiday makers. Well, they might not be holiday makers. Let's get realistic. Play with the landscape here. It's very interesting about that cylinder head temperature. It's really dropped down. And as I say, I don't remember seeing that before, so I need to have a look at that. I'm sure everything is on. I'm not inadvertently... Right, let's just be safe. There we go. Yeah. Everything's where it should be. See the T's and P's. Yeah, they're all looking okay. Oil temperature is lowish. Absolutely stunning. So yeah, this update would have brought a vast whole continent to us. And this is just a very small part of that. But I just wanted to come over here and have a look and see what the landscape looked like more than anything. But there's just so much to explore over here since this update. And it must be fantastic for all the Australian flight simmers who can now see a more detailed home country. Right, let's start thinking about getting this thing down. quick look over there, get a little bit of height. Let's try and get sight. I think that's probably the airfield over there. Let's we'll have a quick look and see what it looks like. What's the wind? So we've got 4 knots from 263. Just got a bit of a dirt strip. Spring around a little bit. That is very much a dirt strip. I don't even think. Oh no, there is a building there, but I'd be interested to see what that is like to land on, actually, because I'm not even sure that that is properly modelled in the flight sim. So it could be the equivalent of just landing in the bush without a prepared surface, but fortune favours the brave. Right, let's get ourselves into a landing configuration. Bleed off some of this excessive speed that we've got. It might take more than just this turn to do it. We have come in a little hot. Yeah, let's take a bit more speed off. No point being silly. Drop the gear now. Good indication on our pins, have a little bit of flap. Fuel tank onto reserve. Speed. Now, I love this aeroplane. The hardest part for me with this aeroplane is landing. One of two things happens. It's usually quite a nice one, or it's blooming awful. So we'll see what happens in this one. Just doing an ever so slight curved approach, just so I can see where the runway is. Just so I can get an idea. And we're stalling. That's not good. Power. Let's get some. Yeah. So that's what happens when you lose your concentration. And this is a heavy bird, and we're gonna, bounce it onto the runway like an idiot. And that is one of the reasons I actually like this aircraft, because not because due to the simulator, it's a challenge to land, but because due to the aircraft it's a challenge to land, and when you're used to floating around in the spit, this heavy old bird, you can very easily do a very nasty heavy landing like that. And that, as I say, that's the challenge with it, so that's one of the things that I will be working on for sure. Okay, so let's put our wangs up. I'm not going to bump into anything because there's nothing else here apart from maybe the odd kangaroo. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed the flight. Interesting to see Australia, especially from this beautiful Corsair. I'm sure we'll be back in Australia at some point. Maybe in a different aircraft, who knows? But as I say, I hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed it, please do leave a like and don't forget to subscribe for more content. And we will see you on the channel again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.